Tim Heston here from the Fabricator magazine. Thanks again for joining us. For this portion of the study, we'll be taking a deep dive into a large contract fabricator called Vander-Bend. They're out on the West Coast in San Jose, California. They also have another plant in Stockton, and they have quite a story to tell regarding their approach to automation. Automation really has reshaped the company in new ways. It has reshaped how they onboard employees, how they train employees, and what direction they're taking the company. But years ago, it wasn't like this. In the 1980s, it was a very small job shop with only basic equipment, and the people who worked there had different views of automation. And to get the history and some perspective, I spoke with two individuals, two on the executive team. One is Ted Perry, Director of Metal Manufacturing, and another is Greg Biggs, the Chief Executive Officer. And I'll let Ted take it from here.
You know, in the old days, it was not embraced. Yeah, everybody was afraid of it.
Right.
You know, everybody did everything manually. They didn't think there was a better way. And I will tell you, still today, you have to fight that urge from everybody. There's still a lot of people very fearful of it. But
Really?
Certainly at Vander-Bend, we are not. We embrace it. We see the advantages to it. It doesn't take people's jobs, it enhances people's jobs. So, you know, the Salvagnini is an amazing machine and a really easy sell, actually. It was a part that was taken as 3 conventional press brakes. Each one of those press brakes took 2 operators because it's a very large panel. And they had to sling that panel, you know, all the way up into the air, create 90-degree flanges. So a lot of operator fatigue. 3 machines, and that part took right about 10 minutes, 10 and a half minutes on average. We moved that part to the Salvagnini. It's auto-loaded. It comes off the punch press onto the Salvagnini. Nobody's touching it. Once it auto-loads, they're taking a complete part off, and we're taking that complete part off in 58 seconds.
No, the only thing I would add to that, Tim, and that's an excellent description, Ted, is that, you know, Ted had advocated for a panel bender for quite some time. I can tell you that we got it on the shop floor, and within 1 month, we were already getting a bid for another Salvagnini for our San Jose facility, because it only took 1 month for everyone to be completely sold on how amazing and transformative that machine is, the panel bending process. And here in San Jose, we're taking a slightly different approach where it's not just pure volume. We have a lot of repeat work, but it's lower volume work. And, you know, with the principles of the Salvagnini, where you basically, once you get it set up the first time, there is no setup after that, right? So you can just load, you can do 50 pieces of something or 100 pieces of something, and it's still very, very efficient. So that's what we're doing here in San Jose now with a slightly smaller. They have a P4 out in Stockton and a P2 here. But it took 1 month for us to go, wow, we need another one, after Ted begged for 2 years to have one. So in the end, Ted was right. I should have listened sooner.
How have you sold welding automation over the years? You being a welder yourself, just kind of curious. We talked about.
You know, we take a lot of the jobs that people struggle with or are just so repetitious. They're takes all the joy out of their job, so to speak. So there's still plenty of work in our job shop that takes a real skilled welder that you cannot automate. So that's one part of it that we do. And I think, you know, at this point, they know that we're moving forward with it. We've actually brought in laser welding, robotic laser welding at this point, a real step forward. So they know we're going to keep moving forward with it. And I think they see that it doesn't, at this point, we're not taking their jobs, we're augmenting their jobs, taking the painful parts away from them, bringing better opportunities for them, and focus on the stuff where we really need their skill set. And I think that pretty much speaks for itself. We don't have to sell it a whole lot anymore.
The one good thing about this company is we've always been pretty progressive about new technologies, and had the people like Ted and our engineering director and some other people in here that really were interested in the new things and wanted to implement them and were willing to accept the challenge. You know, there are kinds of people that like to keep doing things the way they've been doing them, and then there are also people that like to find out how can we do them better. And most of our team is, how can we do it better? We're very progressive because we are just so saturated in this business. It's what we do. We want to know how we can do it better, and then we want to know how we can do it better so we can win more.
Hi, I just wanted to cut in here a bit just to talk a bit about Vander-Bend's training program as it relates to their automation strategy. It's quite fascinating. Years ago, the shop had a traditional training program like most job shops that involved job shadowing. But over the years, because automation continued to take hold, and because of course the skilled labor crisis we all know about, very difficult to find people with mechanical aptitude. And so they hired an in-house training manager and brought the training initiatives in-house, partially by using state funds from the state of California to help spur on the initiatives. And it's certainly paying dividends. They have a foundational training program that introduces folks to overall manufacturing, but also points people toward careers in automation, including careers that simply didn't exist at the company 14 years ago, including robotic specialists, robotic welding specialists, robotic press brake specialists. And this really, in essence, builds the company's foundation for growth. That, again, includes automation. And that automation is really pushing the company's growth in its most ambitious expansion plan, which is what they call Vander-Bend East, which is a new facility, a large facility, automated facility somewhere east of the Mississippi. And that'll be moving the company closer toward its goal of a national footprint to cover the entire country. And guiding the way will be automation. And in this case, Ted had some great things to say, so I'll turn it back to him.
Vision going forward is doing the same amount of material with much less people, right? So as we look to the east, our Stockton model is a great example, but we want to further reduce our reliance on people and more on automation. So we get that building set up, as few people are going to touch those parts as possible. We will always rely on people. They're a critical part of our business, but we're embrace robotics and automation in order to allow us to grow the business.